Thank you for being here. I'm gonna try to do as well as Kathy did last time, but don't hold me to it as far as running the Zoom. But I will turn it over to our fearless Peace Pal leader, Evelyn.
Hi, ladies. So we already figured out where Pamela is from. Kathy, where are you from? Can you unmute and say where you're from? Somebody else is coming.
It's Kathy. It's our
Hello.
Kathy.
Good, good. All right. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, everybody.
We
Good
were
to be
waiting
here.
for you. So very happy to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Nice to see everybody.
All righty. So this is the Peace Pal workshop for overalls and skirts today. So I'm going to start with overalls.
And
If that,
Kathy responded to you in chat and said she's from Georgia, just so you know.
oh, thanks. Oh, I keep forgetting to put the chat on. Thank you, Kathy. Oh, there it says from Georgia. Let me write that down. My daughter used to live in Georgia, and I am pleased as punch that she's just 6 minutes down the road from me here in the Shenandoah Valley. So I love it. Okay. Kathy from Colorado, that I do know. Okay, so overalls. We're going to start with the overalls and then we're going to do the skirts. And I have about 6 skirts that I can show you, 6 different skirts. So I don't have a doll that has overalls on now, but I do have pictures of a couple of dolls that I
Oh, that
made.
is so cute.
Yeah, so that you can, oh, which one of these is this? Oh, this one? There we go. One of these has the little girl that I made it for. I first made her regular Peace Pal, and then it had like a scarf and everything and a hat. And she said, "Oh, but I need one for summer." So this one has short sleeves and shorts, but I did put a little overalls on her. And then this is just to show you that you can also put overalls on if you have a skirt. It doesn't have to be pants. So how I did it was, so starting from the bottom, I made my shoes and then I made my pants. Now this is going to be a yellow shirt with blue pants. What I did was you knit all the way up to the shirt. Then you switch colors and you start knitting the shirt all the way across 14 stitches. And you carry the pant color along with it. So you can see, hopefully, here and here, I caught the blue. So I knitted with the yellow, but I caught the blue in a couple of places. Then you just drop the shirt color and you don't pay attention to it until you're done with the bib for the overalls. So the next 7 stitches, which are the center 7 stitches, they're going to be the little bib. So for me, what I do is I don't know if you could see here, it's a little dark, but this edge, these 2 stitches are reverse stockinette, the center 3 stitches are regular stockinette, and then this edge is also reverse stockinette. So you do that. It's about 10 rows. You just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You don't pay attention to the rest of the stitches that are on this needle. You just kind of ignore them, and you knit all the way up to here. And then you're going to cast off some of these stitches. So you, let me see. You do, after you get it the length that you want it, mine, I did like 10 rows. I did a last row that's all reverse stockinette so that I have a border here. Then I turn it over, and on the other side, I'm gonna, so here you are, you're on the back. You knit the first 2 stitches in reverse stockinette and then put them on a holder. And it's only just 2 stitches. I use something like this. The 3 stitches that were in the middle, you bind them off. And then you continue with these last 2 stitches, and you just do reverse stockinette all the way up. Now I do mine about 2.5 or 3 inches. This is going to be a strap. I usually make it longer than I think I'm going to need. That way I don't have to futz with it later. Then you put those last 2, you don't bind them off, just put them on another holder and leave a nice long tail, because you're going to use this later to cast off those stitches and to sew on that strap. So then you come back to the other side that you had put on a holder, and you reattach your yarn, and you do the very same thing. You make the second strap. You go all the way up. You put those 2 on a holder with the nice long tail, and then you just ignore that. Then at this point, what you're going to do is turn it this way so that you're seeing the back of it. And you're gonna, well, the back of the whole thing. You're gonna pick up the purl bumps for those 7 stitches. And now your needle is facing this way. You have your yarn here from the shirt. And you go ahead and knit across those purl bumps with the shirt color. And then you keep on going, and you do the ones that were on the other needle. And then you just finish the shirt, however you want to finish the shirt. And then, the head and the hair and all that. Once that's done, you're going to finish the whole doll. And then you're going to, let me see. So you finish the whole doll, pretend this is the doll, and you bring the strap up behind its neck. You're going to cross them in the back like, you would. If you need to knit a few more stitches, you knit a few more on the straps. If you need to take a few out, you take a few out. Just till it's the exact length it's going to come to the top of the pants. Then you bind it off and sew it on. So what you could do, sometimes these edges curl, you could, and I do this, I stitch this on right into the doll, and I stitch this on right into the doll. And every once in a while, I put a little tacking stitch around the straps so they don't fall off. And that is pretty much how you would do, overalls. Now I have one all set up. I've knitted the pants and I've knitted, all the way over to the pants, and I've blocked out my 14 and my 7 and my 14. So at this point, if there's anybody who wants me to do this, raise your hand or put something in the chat. I can demonstrate it in real life if you want me to.
We have a Kathy in Colorado who would love you to demo.
Kathy in Colorado, thank you very much for telling me that, and I will do it. Okay, let me get this guy out of the way. All righty, glasses on. Okay. Oops. I'm going to move my camera, so give me 1 second. I have this handy dandy setup so that I can show you my knitting. And oops, great. Well, I don't know where the other needle went. Oh, there. Okay. So I'm ready to start the shirt.
Evelyn, I know this sounds silly, but can you move a little slower?
Yes, I haven't started yet. I'm just getting
okay. Because all I'm seeing
Thank
is
you.
yours. No worries.
No, thanks for reminding me. Okay, so I've got the yellow. I'm gonna start knitting with the shirt color. And I have the pants color over my finger on the left hand so that I can go under it and catch it every once in a while to carry that along. Let's see if I can get closer. Oh, I can. Probably not. Okay. So 14 stitches. This is for a 35 stitch doll. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's 6. 7. 8. 9. I'm going to catch it again. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. So now I'm going to remove this little stitch marker that I had, just showing me where the 14 was in case I didn't feel like counting. All right, now I'm just gonna drop the shirt color and I'm picking up the pants color again. So I want to do these middle 7 stitches. The first two, I'm gonna purl so that I have reverse stockinette on the front. The middle three are regular stockinette, knitting, 3 knitting, and then 2 pearls. Here's my second stitch marker that tells me I'm at the end of my 7 stitches. I'm getting rid of that. Now these stitches, they don't bother me. But if they bother you, you can put them on some waste yarn. I just ignore them. I'm gonna put my yarn to the back. And I'm gonna come back the other way. Oops. So the first two are the border. I want to do reverse stockinette. So on the back, those are knit. The middle, excuse me, middle 3 are purl. And the last 2 are knit. And I do about 10 rows. I'll do the next row slowly and then I'm going to turn on the speed just so that I can get to the end of the 10 rows, if that's okay. Not that I'm very speedy.
Does anyone have any questions or anything so far?
Yeah, I have a question. So with the shirt color, you've just left that hanging there. You're just waiting for when you finish the bib, you'll come back and pick that up.
Yes.
You don't cut it or,
Nope, because I'm going to use it, Kathy. I'm going to,
yeah, you're going to continue. Yeah, I'm getting the
yeah,
logic of this now.
yeah. So I just leave it there. I ignore this and I'm ignoring these. I'm just concentrating on these middle 7 stitches. That's going to
really
be the
great.
bib. That was a good question.
Thanks, Kathy.
Even my speedy isn't very fast, but it's a little faster.
You look like Sonic the Hedgehog. You blur. You look like you're flying.
I'm a blur. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's how
Flying
fast I
along.
am. I tell you, I'm the speed queen.
Does it go in the macaroni and cheese?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can get it into one half and not the other.
Kim, do you mean to be muted and you're not?
As always, everybody knows that there's a zillion different ways of doing everything in knitting. So if whatever I'm doing doesn't work for you, or if you have a better way, do it that way. This is just what I'm
It's
doing.
fun. I was wondering if you ever do the bib in garter stitch.
I never have because I like to have the front open so that I could embroider or something on it.
Oh, cute. Yeah.
But you know what, Kathy, you can do it. I mean, even these edge stitches, they don't have to be in reverse stockinette. They can be in seed stitch. They can be just regular stockinette. It's whatever you want your bib to look like. And the reason that I do 7 is that my chest on the dolls, I have 9 stitches between the arms. So I figure 1 stitch on each side, you could see the shirt. Not that
Yeah.
I'm any fashion maven or anything. Far from it, but you know, there's a make it what you want it to be.
That's not true, Evelyn. I've seen some of the sweaters you've made.
Yeah, none of them are my own. They're not my designs, and my clothes, basically, if they, cover the important parts, that's as good as it gets.
I was thinking if somebody was you could do a tiny Fair Isle heart on there, or probably better duplicate stitch.
Yes, I think you could.
Wouldn't that be
That-
cute to have a little heart on the for the jumper especially?
And you know
Well,
what,
for the overalls too.
yeah, and you can, if you're looking for something really tiny, if you just do 1 stitch, it looks like a heart.
That's right.
All right, let's see. Oh, did I miss that? No, I didn't. Okay, how many? Let me count the rows. Counting the rows is easier on the reverse side because you just count the knit stitches. So it looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I'm good enough. I've got 10. Okay. Let me see. So now I'm going to do a full row of reverse stockinette. So you can either do this or just do it regular and then cast off on the other side in knit. However big you want your the top border to be. So I'm going to do the entire row I'm on the right side. So I'm going to do the entire row in purl. So that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I don't have the other fancy stitch markers here. Okay, so here we are on this back side of it. I really want to see if I can get closer, but I'll still be able to show what I'm doing. Okay, so these 2 are reverse stockinette. I'm going to knit them 1, 2. And now I'm going to put them on a holder. So I'm just going to pinch them so that they don't come undone. Slip them off the needle. Put the stitch marker in there and close that up. So I'm done with them for a while. Now I've got the middle 3 that are in, stockinette. I'm going to cast those off or bind them off. I'm doing it knitwise. You could do whatever you like. 1, 2, 3. So now I just have this one stitch and one more. So these are my, they were the border on the bib, and now they're going to turn into the straps. They're going to be knit. So I've got 2 stitches on the needle. And this is where I'm just going to work these two, and this takes some time. It's tedious, but this is what you have so far. Let me show you if I can. Oops. So we've got the left edge stitches on a holder. The middle 3 are bound off. And I've got the right 2 stitches on my needle. So I'm just going to purl them on the front side and knit them on the back side.
So you're actually knitting little rows, not making I-cord.
Right. I wonder if I-cord would, but that's a good idea, Kathy.
It'd be a little bit different look. Maybe for a little jumper.
And it would be faster too, I think. You don't have to turn the whole thing around.
Right. You just shove it up back and forth on the needle.
Yep. Where am I? I don't know. Oops. Oh, I'm on this side. So purl on the front, knit on the back. So like I said, this is going to take a long time and I don't want to waste our time. So I'm going to pretend that so here it is. It's the same as the other one. I've got a couple of rows on that right strap. And it's the same as this one with all the rows on the right strap. I'm going to just cut this and then later on I'll go back and finish it. So if it were 3 inches or 2.5 inches long, I would put a stitch marker in. I don't have more stitch markers than these 2, so I'm going to leave it hanging and just hope that it doesn't unravel. And if it does, that's okay. All right. So at this point, oops, what you would do is reattach the yarn for the pants onto these 2 stitches here. And you would put them on your needle and you would go ahead and make that second strap, which I'm also not going to do But if we pretended that we did it, it would look like this. Is it okay with you guys that I'm skipping this step, or do you want me to go and knit?
Oh, no,
the-
this is fine. That for me at least, Kathy or Kim or Pamela, are you okay with her skipping forward?
Yes, I'm definitely okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that both of the straps are knit. So at that point, you don't need the pants color anymore. You're finished with that. Everything's in the back. So now what you're gonna do is you've got the shirt. Here's the shirt yarn. And then you've got the bib. And then here's the second half of the stitches. You're gonna turn it to the back side. There are 7 stitches here that we need to pick up, and I pick up the purl bumps. So I'm gonna take this one and this one. Oop. Then the 3 middle ones. 1, 2, 3. And then the 2 from the other strap. 1, 2. So on my needle, I've got these 14 and these 7 that I just picked up. Now I'm going to turn it to the front. And I'm just going to knit across the row. And I don't know if you could see it, but these stitches that I picked up are on the wrong way. They are with the left side in the front instead of the right side being in front. So I just knit them through the back loop, and that orients them in the right direction now. Just those 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the rest of the 14, you just knit normally.
And thanks for showing that. I didn't know that little trick. I would have taken it off the needle and put it on the other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I hope it was clear. Was it clear?
Yeah, it was clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then at the end of the row, then I have my 35 stitches again for the shirt. Then I just keep on knitting. And it'll look like this. And like I said, then you finish making the whole doll. And pretend that this is the doll. Bring those back and tack everything into place.
That's just so clever.
You. Now there's another way to do it. I think I never did it this way, but it makes sense that you could. I think that what you could do is make the shoes, make the pants. Just start the shirt like you normally would, makes the shirt. And then pick up stitches from the front with the pants color to make the overall bib. But I like this one better because in my mind, the shirt is behind the bib. The bib isn't in front of the shirt.
Yeah, that makes
that-
sense to me.
I'm
Yeah.
glad it does. I'm so glad it does, Kathy, because it's kind of weird, isn't it? It sounds like it's the same thing, but I think it's two different things, and I like it this way.
I think maybe if you were doing like like making a little jumper dress, that you might that kind of effect of the of putting the going back afterwards and putting the bib on. I can't even talk as to how, but what you were just saying, the second way to do it
Yeah,
could have kind of a fun effect.
it
But
would
I
be
think it would be a little different.
it would be different. So it depending on what you're going for, and you,
Mhm.
like I said, try both ways. This is the way that I do it. This is the way I like it. But you may like it a different way. And as long as it looks good, then I think that's absolutely fine. All right, I am just.
Well, and I always think we're making toys for children, and they should be lovely and fun and all, but if they're not quite perfect, if they're a little wonky or a little funny, it's kind of fun for the kid. It makes it kind of personal, you know what I mean?
And would they even notice? I don't even know if
Exactly.
they'd notice. I notice, which I'm sure you notice. You would.
Yeah.
All right, so that's overalls. Before we move on to skirts, I need to know if there's any questions about the overalls. And there's 3 things in chat here. Let me see what they say.
Carol, just compliments for you.
Oh my goodness. Not necessary.
Mhm.
All right.
I love that.
Okay,
Peace, pal, fashion maven.
skirts. This is it for the overalls. Done with that. All right, so just as we had 2 different ways of putting on the bib for these overalls, there's 2 different ways for putting on the skirt for your Peace Pal. So I'm going to show the way that I don't do it first. Because then all the rest of them, I'm going to do it the way that I like it. Okay, so this is, here's the Peace Pal. This is the way that a lot of the patterns that you can find on the internet, a lot of the Esther Braithwaite, I don't know how to say it. Her patterns do it this way. You make the doll, and then before you sew it up, you pick up stitches. Now, you remember how we picked up stitches for the neck? We picked up the right leg of every single stitch. That's what we're going to do to make a skirt in the way that I don't do it. So let me show you that way first. And the only reason I don't do it this way is because I like the other way better. I just like it better. Okay, so here's. Get it right, there we go. So here's the shoes. I've got white shoes. I've got brown pants. Could be, looks brown. And actually, you know what it is? It's this little girl doesn't have on any socks at all. This is her body. So these are her legs. And then she's going to get a skirt. You're going to pick up the right leg of every stitch of the shirt. So if you have a 34 stitch doll, then you've got 34 stitches. And if you made a 35 stitch doll, you've got 35 stitches. I'm not going to bother to count. But there they all are. So like I said, this down here, the white is the shoes. This is the leg. This is the shirt. And I've got the face and the hair. What you do is you turn it upside down so that the shoes are at the top. And then you knit this first row. Oh, where's my yarn? And what I would do is I would catch the tail so I don't have to do anything much with it later. I'll just thread it through to the inside of the doll when I'm done, but it should be caught.
So you're just doing all knit stitches all the way across?
Yes. Actually, no, I think I made a mistake. Yeah, the first row I should have done knit front and back for every single stitch. Good, I will fix that on my next row. So you have to, if you're following a pattern and it says to turn the doll upside down and knit the skirt, it's going to tell you how many stitches to increase on that first row. I'm sorry that I messed it up.
It just shows you're human.
Very, very human, very human. But the skirt that I'm gonna do is a garter stitch skirt anyway. So then you just follow the pattern, whatever they say in this. So for the knit front and back, it depends on what kind of skirt you want to do. So you can make up your own skirt. It can be pretty straight and not like big and flary. Or it can be big and flary. So if you want a lot of stitches and a lot of ruffles and stuff, add more stitches. And if you want it to be like a straight, like maybe, I don't know, more fitted skirt, then you would use fewer stitches. And I guess that's if you're making your own, deciding for yourself and making your own pattern, whatever skirt that you want to do, or you follow the directions for the pattern that you have. So that's that. I will knit front and back on this one, and then I'm not going to do the whole skirt. Obviously, knit front. You guys all know how to knit front and back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Knit front, knit back in the same stitch. It's a very, very easy way of increasing. And then this will double your numbers. The main important part of that, this method of adding a skirt is that you have to pick up the stitches. I didn't think I got that one. There we go. So it's just about 7 o'clock now. So I think I'm going to stop here on this skirt. What's going to happen is the skirt is going to grow towards the feet. So the front is going to be the front, the back is going to be the back. But you're going to be knitting it this way from the waist to the hem. Does anybody have any questions about that? Going once, going twice. I'm going to put my, go to this chat, my email in case anybody does. Just evelynholmberg@mac.com. And that's any questions about anything. If anybody has any questions about anything, please email me. I accept all questions.
Does that include questions about my existential crises or?
Sure, absolutely.
Wonderful, thank you.
I can make up an answer.
Alrighty. I know
I
you.
love that.
So I need these needles. I'm going to just slip this off. And if I decide to continue that one later, I certainly can. All right. That was that. Oh. All right, so that was number 2. Number 3, the third thing I wanted to show you.
It's just, let me, on the skirt, I don't
Oh,
know
cute.
about you, but I find that if I use a very thin, more like a DK yarn for the skirt, it's just fluffier. If I use a heavier yarn, it doesn't look too nice. It's a little bit stiff. The lighter the yarn, I think, the lacier and the frillier the skirt.
That's very nice. So Pamela,
Yes.
you make yours on worsted yarn and then
Well,
the skirt on.
I make the dowel, whatever yarn I have, but I try to use like a number 4, like a very lightweight worsted for the dowel itself. But
And
for the
then
skirt,
DK.
I like to use, the finer yarn that I have, the finest yarn that I happen to have. It just,
Oh,
it just lays nicer.
That's pretty. That's very
Yeah.
nice.
what
Mine-
size needles then, Pamela?
I use 4.
So you
I use size 4.
and that's how you get that lacier feel to the fabric,
Mhm.
is that you're using the same size a bigger
I'm using
needle.
the same size needle, but just a lighter weight yarn.
Oh,
More like
nice.
even a stocking yarn,
Oh, nice.
Stocking yarn.
works. Just for
But
they
that's
just
pretty.
they just
Okay,
seem
I'm picturing like a tutu with some
Oh.
like fluffy like little mohair yarn. Wouldn't
fun.
that
Oh,
be
what
cute to make a little
fun.
ballerina?
Oh, that
Oh, what a
would.
great idea.
With little
Yeah.
pink shoes.
Little pink
ballet
shoes.
Definitely.
Somebody would
Great
love
idea.
that.
I'll
My
have to
my
try
kids
that.
were all ballet kids, and
Uh-huh.
that would have been perfect.
Well, Kathy, I can't wait to see that one.
I'm gonna try.
Now you have to do it.
I do. That's gonna be my takeaway.
All right, excellent, excellent. All right. So the way that I like to do it is actually the way that is oops, on the regular Peace Pal with skirt pattern from Knitting for Peace. So what you do is you make the skirt first. And then you do kind of like how you put one needle in front of the other when you're doing a 3-needle bind off?
Yeah,
You do that, but you don't bind off. So you're just
sure.
knitting the skirt onto the body. So here we go. Okay. So I have, this is the same little skirt that is in the directions. It's adorable. The only thing that I do differently is I make it a little longer. So the first 2 rows, it says to like repeat this row and that row once. I repeat it twice. And if you want a really long skirt, you repeat it more times. It all depends on how long you want your skirt to be. So the skirt gets made first. First you do the skirt. Then you make the doll just up to finishing the underwear. So this little girl has black Mary Janes with white socks. So here's the shoe, here's the little sock peeking through, and here's the 4 rows of her sock. And then the brown for her leg, and then 4 rows for her underwear. And I always make the underwear the same color as the skirt, only because it reminds me of those Sizzlers that we used to wear.
Yeah.
Remember
I think they
those?
still do wear those.
Do they really?
Yeah, or skirts or whatever. Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, I'm gonna move my camera again because it's so much easier for me to knit in my lap than on the table. Let's see if I can get set up here in a way that you can see it. think that's it. Okay. So since I did my doll second, I still have the underwear color attached, and it's the same color as the skirt. Now for this doll, remember how I keep talking about a 34 stitch doll or a 35 stitch doll? On the very first, on the very first Peace Pal workshop, I'd said that I really like having a 35 stitch doll so that I have a center stitch on the chest. So if I'm going to put some kind of an emblem on the chest or decoration on the chest, I like to have that middle stitch. But this is a 34-inch doll, 34 stitch doll. So that is what the skirt is. The skirt, if you follow the pattern, it has 34 stitches. I'm going to put the skirt in front, the needle with the skirt on it, in front of the other thing, in front of the one that has the doll on it. Now, one thing that I didn't say, but I did write it in my directions, which I'll make sure that everybody has copies of. That very last row. So you're making your skirt and you go, you know, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. The last row is where you decrease. So I think this skirt started out with 66 stitches, something like that. On the last purl row, you're going to purl a bunch of them together so that you get the number that you need for the skirt. I needed 34. So I purl together, purl together, purl together as many as I need so that I can get 34 stitches. So you put the skirt needle in front of the doll needle. Your working yarn is on the back needle that has the doll. And you're gonna knit the stitches together as if you were gonna do a 3-needle bind off. So in through the front of the front stitch, in through the front of the back stitch. Around. And they both come off. Now, if you're really handy, you can take this tail from the skirt, bring it round back and weave it in as you go. I do that sometimes. So I'll hold that over my finger and then into the front, round the needle. And off. Through the front. I'm wrapping the back tail and off. Does everybody know how to knit these two together?
I do.
Yeah.
Kathy K, you know how to do this?
I gotta let my pooches out. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okie dokie. Pam, have you done this before?
I have. I've made quite a few little skirts.
Okey-doke.
I really like it. I like to do it the way you're doing it right now. I think I would prefer that over the first way you showed us.
Yeah, I do too. I do all my skirts this way, but since there's another way to do it, I figured I would show.
Mhm.
This to me is much easier because I know how to do a 3-needle bind off. It's the same thing, but you just don't bind off.
Because I like to make up the skirts, make a few skirts ahead of time, and just have them
Yeah,
waiting for the doll.
yeah, that's a good idea. So you're a batch maker.
Well, I don't know if I get random. I like to watch college basketball, so it gives me something to do
Ooh,
while I'm watching basketball games.
do you have a favorite skirt pattern?
A skirt pattern. I used the
Yeah.
one on the printed sheet that I, printed off of the Knit for Peace website.
Oh, the cute one that I showed, this one?
This one that you're doing right now.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
I really like this one. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. Do you make it longer or do you just make it a,
I've never thought about making it longer. I just make it, just according to the direction.
uh-huh.
But that would be cute too. I might try that.
It's a different look, you know?
Hmm.
Alrighty, just about done. Alrighty. So, now everything's just all together on the one needle. And you just knit the top, you knit the blouse any way that you want. And at this point, if you did want to make a bib, then you're going to do the same thing. Except for there's going to be one less stitch in the middle because it's only 34 stitches, unless you want to make it too wider. It's up to you, however you want it to look. But I thought this one's adorable. I love this one. Very cute. But I do have others to show you. And it looks like we have 20 minutes left. Let me put this over here. The next one that I'm going to show is just a garter stitch. Just a little garter stitch one. And it has twice as many stitches as the doll has. So you can see how much of a flare it's got. I think it's really cute. So I just did the first 2 ridges in, so all the rest of the ones that I'm going to show you, I have knit the bottom up ahead of time before the doll. Okay, so I just knit 2 ridges in a contrasting color and then the rest in a different color. main color is the same as her underwear. So all you have to do for this one is cast on the number, however many stitches your doll has, cast on twice the number of stitches. And just do garter, 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 garter for as long as you want it. This is a pretty short skirt on this little girl. So you could make it much longer if you wanted. It's up to you. And then you just knit it on the same way that we did the last skirt. It's the same thing.
When do you start to decrease to get back to your 34 or 35 that
I
you need?
I always do it on the last wrong side of the skirt. So
Okay.
so that it's very, very ruffly. So here's one that I have. I just did white here and then red here. This is the doll. So on the very last row, which if you were doing stockinette stitch, it would be a purl row. But this is garter, so I just did knit 2 across, all the way across. So for this, which is a 35 stitch doll, I did, what did I do? 70? Can't remember. That would make twice would be 70. And then I just knit 2 together across the back. I do want to mention one thing. Oops, that one's still attached. If I have a 34 stitch doll and a 34 stitch skirt, I do every single stitch. So it's 1 to 1. I have the same number on the front on the skirt that I do on the doll. And I think I misspoke because for this, if I have a 35-inch or stitch doll, I think I'm confusing people. If I'm confusing you, let me know. If I have a 35 stitch doll, which this one is, I do double the number plus 2. And that's because I'm going to have this last stitch on the doll is going to be for the seam, and this last stitch is going to be for the seam. So I only need a skirt for the middle stitches. So then if I'm going to knit them together, I'm going to skip the first, oops, it's backwards. Sorry about that. Here's the front. I would skip the first stitch on the dress, on the skirt. So I would just knit the doll alone. And then for the next rest of them, I knit together, one from each. I feel like, yeah, there.
This seems like so much of a better way to do it than to pick up stitches and try to be futzing with you know, starting the knitting like that. It certainly looks like the technique I want to try.
To me, it's easier, Kathy.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense to me. And I like Pamela, I knit the skirt, you have to knit the skirt first. And if you're like Pamela, you can knit many skirts first. So then you're going to knit all the way across. When you get to the other side, you're going to have 1 extra stitch on the doll. Get it? So there's what, 30? Yeah, I don't even want to do the math. When I do the math, when I'm on a Zoom. My math is always wrong. But so I have, this skirt isn't a pattern. It's just a garter stitch, a little rectangle. Something that I like the way that it looks, but it's not somebody's pattern. That Esther Braithwaite has many patterns that are free and have skirts on them. I have knit several of them, and I have knit one that she charges money for. And any of her patterns, I mean, they're so cheap. They're like $3. They're well worth it.
Could you put her name in the chat? Or
I will.
something?
Yes,
Yeah,
I will.
thank
Are
you.
you on Ravelry?
Yes.
Okay, I will. Just let me finish this row. And then I can show you that there should be one stitch left at the end, unless I did it wrong.
I just
Hopefully
threw her
didn't.
Ravelry link, her designer link into the chat for you.
You did? Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You know, we should contact her. Maybe she'd come and join us for a session.
That would be
She has
fun.
such clever ideas beyond what we do
She
for our
does.
dolls for kids.
I think a lot of hers are for charity also.
Yeah, I know
Um,
they certainly started out that way. And then she was doing little doctors and nurses during the pandemic.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
she did, with some of them with masks and everything.
How
So
cute.
cute.
She's
She
great,
does little animals too, which don't work for our donations, but
but they're
they're
adorable.
adorable.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different versions on, Pinterest.
Yes.
Little bears or little, all kinds of little things. Cute.
All right, come on, finish up. So anyway, I took several of her, this is what I was asking Kim about. I don't know whether it is I don't know, copyright infringement or not. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to share it with you, but I will share it one way or another. The ones that I have knit, and I'm going to show you, I wrote down how I knit them from the bottom up so that I can attach them this way. All right, so I am at the last stitch on the skirt and the second to the last stitch on the doll. So then you see that I have this one stitch left for the doll, and that is for seaming the doll up. So now that's attached. Then when you go to seam up the skirt, you don't have extra stitches. You have exactly the number that you need, and it looks better in the back.
Got it.
So that is that. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, so that I am not infringing on anybody's intellectual property, is I will make a project for each of my skirts. And you know how people say, oh, it incorporates this pattern, oh, or it incorporates that pattern, and then they write down all their modifications. I think
That's
a better way to do it, right? Than to say, here's a pattern. Okay.
Unless you've changed it so much that it's really your own pattern.
I don't know. One thing that I can tell you is the patterns on these skirts that you can get either from her or from other people, I think you can pretty much find them in stitch pattern dictionaries. They're just knitting patterns, and make sure that you have the same number that's going to work with your doll. Okay, so this is a doll. This is Esther Braithwaite's doll, and it's called the Flower Girl. Flower Girls. It is free, and it looks like this. She's got a doll with a cute little skirt, and she embroiders a little flower on the skirt.
Isn't that cute?
But
I like the ruffle bind off.
it's a stockinette.
Mhm.
So it is a crochet bind off.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So here's
Nice.
this one. So
Yeah,
to
so
make this
cute.
one, I
Very
just
cute.
I knit from the bottom up, reduced on that last on the last purl row. And then it's, I just put them on a spare needle. This is just a double pointed needle. So this is ready to go when I'm ready to attach it. But then I crocheted, I think I did the picot edge. You do a couple of chains. Yeah, it was easy. It wasn't bad. So that is this one
Cute.
called Flower Girl. And that is a free pattern. The next one, which is super cute,
Oh,
it's gingerbread people, gingerbread friends. There's a boy and a girl. It's also free. So it looks like this. You start with little yarn overs at the bottom. You change colors. You do stockinette. And then, like I said, that last row, you can either knit it onto your spare needle, or you could just knit it and then put it on your spare needle, just so that it's ready for the 3-needle, the join. One thing that happened when I did this is it curled really, really bad. So this is what it looked like. It just curled all the way up. You couldn't even see it. See the
see it.
difference? This is what it looks like now. This is what it looked like then. I pinned it onto my blocking blocks. And then you heat it up with your hair dryer.
Mm.
If you heat it up with your hair dryer, that helps to block it. You don't even have to wet it. You just use your hair dryer. Don't get real close so you're not singeing it. And then it stays nice and straight. So the other thing is, if you've got, I've done this before, if you've got a doll and you've already got the skirt on, but it seems to be flipping up, just take a few pins and stick it through the skirt and into the doll, like a little voodoo doll. And then you do the hair dryer thing, and it'll stay the way that you want it to stay. The heat just helps it stay. All right, her next one, which is also free, is called, what's it called? Oh, these are the Pretty Izzy dolls. There's a couple of skirts. This is the lace skirt, which took me the longest to make because I really, really, really stink at lace. I mess it up every single time. One took me almost an hour, but I finally got it. The other ones took like 45 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes. But that's what this one looks like. And I bet that this one would look really nice with I still do it in size 2.5 needles on DK. It's the same as I use on my doll. But Pamela, if you're doing it, I bet it would be even swingier if you did it on the size 4s. But I wanted to show you that one.
Cute.
Then the last one, I only knitted one of these, but it's called Fairy Friends. And it costs about $3. This is a paid pattern from Esther. This is one of the skirts. And that's the one that I knit. Looks like that.
Yeah,
That
cute.
one, I think there's three different skirts on this. Orange blossom, the lemon blossom, I don't know, something like that. And that is all I have to say about skirts.
That's a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. It was fun. I made sure to get knitting for peace. There we go. Okay, Kathy. So Kathy K, if you have any questions, you've got my email address. You can email me. And that's that. I think the next, first of all, does anybody have any questions?
Evelyn, I don't have any questions, but every time I sit in on one of these, you make me want to knit Peace Pals.
I can't wait until you start doing it. I want to see your first one.
You did see my first one during the Create-a-thon.
I don't want to see that one again. You hold on to that one for next year.
Okay.
That one was funny. Yeah. If you can do that, you can do a real one. Same thing. The same thing. All right. So next time is going to be hijabs and baby Peace Pals. I think that's it. So after that, I am out of Peace Pal ideas. So if anybody has any ideas for, because I really enjoy getting together with you guys. Any other ideas of what to do for other ones, unless we just want to get together and you guys are knitting and I'm knitting and we're doing different things, or maybe everybody makes a hat or everybody does